These right here are delicious pumpkin stuffed raviolis with a white sweet potato garlic sauce, made healthy vegan style. No oil, no wheat, no refined sugar, no rice. And they're even nut-free. Absolutely delicious and perfect for this time of year. And today, I'm going to show you how to make your own. All right, so the first thing we're going to do to make our pumpkin ravioli is make the filling. Because remember, a ravioli is only as good as what you put in it or what you put on it. So we want to make this filling extra tasty. We're going to start with an organic pumpkin, some hemp hearts, some nutritional yeast, some black pepper, some garlic granules, and some nutmeg to really bring out that pumpkin flavor. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm starting with an organic, a whole pumpkin, and I'm going to cut it, clean it, and bake it. Now, of course, if you prefer, you could use canned pumpkin, but because of the time of year, I thought I would use fresh. All right, so I've got my pumpkin cooked now. Now it's just a matter of getting it cleaned out, getting it into the bowl. Then I'm gonna add my other ingredients and get our filling all put together. So this is pretty straightforward. We're doing everything inside of a bowl so far, which makes it nice and easy. Now, typically you would stuff ravioli like this with ricotta cheese as a base, but we're using hemp hearts and some nutritional yeast to form our filling. All right, so I've got my filling made and set aside. Now the next step is to make the ravioli, and for that we got to make our dough. Now our dough is going to consist of chickpea flour, arrowroot powder, some psyllium husk, a little bit of salt, and then some ground flax, and that's going to be the ingredients for our dough. Let's get to that part now. So most of the time you see me using almond flour or a combination of almond and oat. And when I want to go nut-free, I typically use tiger nut. Now I've tried those flours for this particular dish, but I found that the chickpea flour is the one that works the best for this particular one, which is a good thing because chickpeas are super healthy. And so we just want to get our flour and our water mixed together, and then we're going to get our hands into the bowl and get it mixed really well to make sure all of the flour is saturated. And then it's on to the next step. All right, I hope you're enjoying the recipe so far. Now I want to take a quick minute to talk about a topic that I get a lot of questions about, which is supplementation. Now it's important to know that there's some essential vitamins and minerals that could be difficult to get in adequate amounts on a plant-based diet, and that supplementation may help maintain optimal levels. Now to complement my plant-based diet, I take the Complement Essential Vitamin. It's been designed specifically to complement a plant-based diet containing 8 vitamins and minerals that play a vital role in how we feel both short and long term by supporting energy levels, regulating metabolism, supporting immunity, heart and brain health, and so much more. And another thing I like is that it's an all-in-one supplement, which means you don't have to go out and buy several bottles to cover your supplement needs. Now, I partner with Complement to offer you a 15% discount on Essential or any of their products by using code HEALTHYVEGAN. So check out the descriptions below for the details. Let's get back to the recipe. All right, so I've got my dough pretty much where I want it. When you finish with it, you want the consistency to be pretty much like Play-Doh would be. And that's about what this is. You want it to be soft, you want it to be a little moist, and as I said, just like Play-Doh, and that's what this is. So now I'm going to get a wet paper towel and get it covered, and we'll move to the next step. All right, so I've got my dough made, I covered it, and I set it aside. Now let's talk about making our sauce. To make our sauce, we're going to use some mushroom vegetable broth. Now typically I make my own broth, but this time I bought it. It's a mushroom, no sodium, organic broth, nothing added. You could use regular vegetable broth as well. I'm going to use some nutritional yeast. I'm going to use a clove of garlic, some salt, some sage, and some white sweet potatoes. Now, what I'm doing more often now is that instead of using cashews to make salad dressings and sauces, I'm starting to use other things like beans and seeds. In this case, I'm going to use white sweet potatoes, which work really well. I've done this before, but I've never posted a recipe with it. So there are a couple different varieties of white sweet potatoes you can get. What I'm using here is a Hannah sweet potato. Now I roasted this one, baked it in the oven earlier. But this is what's called a Hannah sweet potato. This is a Japanese sweet potato. Don't let it fool you, even though it's dark on the outside, the flesh is actually white, just like the Hannah. There's also a Jersey white sweet potato, but regardless of the variety, any white sweet potato will do. for this recipe. But again, we're using a hand sweet potato. I baked this one earlier. I'm going to put it with my other ingredients, and this is going to make our sauce. Let's get to it.
If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below.
All right, so now I've got my filling and my sauce made and set aside. Now let's have some fun. Let's make some ravioli. And to do that, I'm going to take my dough and I'm going to run it through my pasta maker. Now, if you don't have a pasta maker, a regular rolling pin will suffice. The idea is just to roll it out, get it nice and thin, about 2 to 3 millimeters thick, and that should be perfect for making our ravioli. Let's get to it.
Okay, so now we're going to roll out our dough and get it cut. Now, the thing to be mindful of here is that this particular dough is more delicate than a typical wheat or other type of pasta dough. So you want to be gentle both as you're rolling it out as well as when you're stuffing it.
All right, I've got everything made. Now it's time to add my filling to my ravioli.
Okay, now we're going to get our ravioli put together. Now I did want to mention that I cut my dough into 3-inch circles, but of course you could cut them smaller or even larger if you prefer. Then I'm going to dip my fingers in some water and go around the edges of the dough. This helps to seal the two pieces together. You want to press lightly and then they're ready.
And now I got all my ravioli ready to go. I'm just going to get my water boiling and then we're going to cook our ravioli. Add the sauce and that's a wrap.
Okay, so the first part of this process is we're going to bring our water to a light boil. Then we're going to add our ravioli. Now when we put them in initially, they're going to sink to the bottom, but that's fine. In fact, that's the way that they cook. It's when they rise to the top that you know that they're ready. Then it's just a matter of getting them removed from the water and onto a plate. And then we're ready for our next step.
All right, these look great. They're ready for some sauce, and I'm ready to give them some sauce. So let's do it.
Okay, so this is our last step. And as you heard me mention, I'm going to add my sauce right now, and you can go as heavy or as light as you prefer. Then I'm going to add some fresh thyme as well as some crushed red pepper flakes, and it is done.
All right. These are done, and man, do they look delicious. If they taste as good as they look, I'm going to be in heaven. So now, let's give them a try. For you, of course. This looks good. Wow. Didn't take long. So much flavor. It didn't take long for me to know this is a winner. This is absolutely delicious. It's savory. All the perfect flavors. Delicious. You gotta make them. You'll love them. All right, if you're new to my channel and you're wondering how to find the recipes, look below the video and tap on the word more and you'll see the beginning of the recipe. Tap on the word more a second time and you'll see the full recipe, and then you can begin to make your own. Thanks for watching.